So first things first, you know a lot of people who are direct beneficiaries of Medicaid and such. Can you just tell me some of the things that they actually use it for?
The necessities of life, basically. Medicaid covers items that, especially large young families, and assisting them with food stamps, WIC, things that they need to raise healthy and happy children, but more importantly, the medical aspect of it. It takes care of a lot of the medical expenses that are laid on them, just from everyday living to pregnancies and birth and all the things that can be so complicated, or just serious illnesses, cancer, um, kids, diabetes is at an all-time high, autism, mental health issues, which is off the chart right now, and all of these things has to be addressed. Care has to be given, and without the assistance that they have and have had through Medicaid, it will have a drastic, devastating impact if that were to be taken away.
Well, yeah, that
But
was kind of my next question. What kind of impacts could you see happening if they lose it?
a very traumatic, disappointing impact, because so much will go undone. And I say that only because of the families coming up behind me and the generation behind me are very, very young. They don't have the coping skills, critical thinking skills, or problem solving skills to deal with parenting, to deal with living, period. Most of them are out there on their own and been on their own since they were very, 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 very young, because they didn't have and have not had what we back in the day called the village, that it takes a village to raise a child. And the generations have changed, morals and values have changed, and you have an abundance of human beings not really living, they're just surviving.
So, do you
And with,
think that is for the overall good? Like, do you think the people who are making these cuts and all that they have good intentions in mind, or
no, I know, and everybody that's in their right mind and can think logically know that they're not doing this in the best of intentions. But I do believe, and just kind of stand firm on, there is going to be a tremendous amount of good that comes out of this, because it's going to force us back to where we came from. And when I say that, I mean the way the family was the foundation of a child's life. The family had everything necessary for a child to grow up well rounded, because it provided them with everything that they needed. And things that they have to worry about now is grown folk stuff. They mind can't comprehend grown folk stuff. They can't make decisions on grown folk stuff. But when you've been put in a position to do so, you can't help but to create a disaster and be a disaster, because you don't have that life experience behind you to make those decisions, to come to those conclusions, and you act according to your age.
and so if they do lose the Medicaid, is there any other avenue or way for them to get the resources that they need?
Not legal, but yeah, there's always other avenues
Yeah.
because somebody gonna come up with something, and usually it means hurting somebody else or violating somebody else to get what they want.
All right, and last question. If you'd had a message that you could give to the people in charge on this subject matter, what would you tell to them?
Shame, shame, shame. Our country should not be in a position that it's in that causes a person to feel like they're ashamed to be affiliated with it because of the decision making skills that is going on behalf of the people who are supposed to be taken care of, who are paying, who are working and paying taxes, not because they want to, because it's taken, but it's not being used for the purpose and has not been used for the purpose in which it was intended. And they basically doing us a favor by behaving like they're behaving because we'll get to see how strong and positive the outcome is going to be, but it's not going to be because of anything that they did. So nobody will be able to take credit for how this turns out. But I guarantee you, the family is going to get rooted in what it needs to be strong. We're going to see changes, positive changes in attitude and behavior because this is going to push, they're doing us a favor. They're helping us to realize we need each other more than we need politics. Before politics, we was doing fine. People cared, they looked out for one another, and they took care of one another. Didn't know nothing go undone. But when that thing called money came into play and bartering was kind of kicked out and forgotten about because that love of money came in and took over and snatched away the values, it snatched away the morals, and it's all because of somebody wanting to control this country. Because before, look, check it out, before that, people were getting along. People shared, people cared. But now it's all about dog eat dog.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I said, shame, shame, shame. Everybody knows the USA's name now. And I tell you, it ain't under good circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense to you.
Makes perfect sense. And I appreciate your time so much. Wonderful insight.